Shalom. 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 Yeah. Shalom, Zion. Ooh, another beautiful California classic. Israel, you Israelites, you Hebrews, been scattered worldwide, and to all my father's children. I want to continue this thought that I started earlier today as I was getting and preparing to come up here to try to gather my thoughts together. I wanted to talk to you about this idea of identification, because one of the things that seemed to be real popular today is everybody is saying I identify as, and then there's I identify as, and then whatever you want to put behind there. And it's very interesting that when it comes to that, everybody seems to be able to do that except for us. All over the world, people can tell you who they identify as, but when Israel tries to do it, everybody will just say, no, you're black. No, I actually have a name. I have a people group. I have a heritage. I have a language. I have a people. No, you don't. You're black. So it doesn't matter how we identify, because to be honest, and I'm going to get to this in this little short video, believe it or not, to be honest, when a person says that they are black, and I've given you the definition of all the negative connotations, demonic, ugly, stupid, crafty, seditious, without knowledge, without understanding, black, from hell, evil, dysfunctional, and all those terms. When we seek to throw all that stuff off of us, it seems that, man, that's what's going on. All right, so let's talk about then identification. And I mentioned on the previous video, and I'm not gonna recap that whole thing, but I mentioned on the video, of course, that the lines there are only really Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and from those three, from Noah, of course, that's how the earth was overspread. So when we seek to identify, the very first identifier will be whether you're from Shem, Ham, or Japheth. That's the very first one. We can't get around that, because that's the three branches of people from the ark. Now, there is another level, by the way, of identification, and then of course that gets into what we would call nation, or that's when you start talking about like a nationality. And because the word nation and nationality go together, then obviously you're going to be talking about two things primarily, and that is a family of people, and you're going to be talking about primarily a location. And so because there were families and each family was given locations, then those families who moved or migrated into these locations, the name of the people, as well as the land or the earth, the part of the earth that they moved to, they took on the name of the family. So when we read the book of Genesis, and I'm going to get into that in the next video, but I want to just say, when we get into the book of Genesis chapter 10, we are told where everybody goes, and we're told who they are, and we're told what land they receive, especially at the time right up until Abraham. which by the way is our lineage. But before I get into that, I want to explain a little bit more about this whole idea of not allowing us in the time where everybody talking about we're woke now. No, most of the Hebrew Israelites are still slumber brews. You cannot be woke and still talking about I'm black. You can't be woke and still talking about I'm black, I'm nothing, I'm black, we're black. If you are still calling and identifying as black, then you're not woke, you're asleep. Matter of fact, you might even be dead, because that's another term for black, is death. So to wake up means we throw off this black thing, because there is no connection to anything. And please hear the moray. There is no connection to anything black in the world. There is no land. There is no continent that's called black. There is no land mass that's called black. There are no there's no regions. There's no continents. Nothing is called black. There is no progenitor of a quote unquote race of people called black. We don't have a great grandfather somewhere who started the black people or the black race. So then the question is, how do we carry on? How do we say we're woke and we still carry a crazy title like black, I mean, man. And this is how we do it. Black equals, and y'all can write this down, black equals slave. All right, so black equals slave. Black equals slave. So what happens is this: once you've been taken from your land, from your people, from your heritage, from your nationality, from your religion, from your occupation, or from just when you were enslaved, or when people are enslaved and then carried away into these places, they then are labeled black. Why? Because they have nothing, so they're slaves. So all over the world, when you try to talk to other people that are from places that where they know that they're from somewhere, you can't call them black. You really can't even call an African who lives in Africa, you really can't even really say they're black. They don't necessarily refer to each other like that. They refer to each other by their tribal names or by their nationality, their nation's name. And you could do that all over the world. So when you talk to a person, and I'm again talking about that skin thing, if you talk to a person from India and their skin is darker than yours and you call them black, they're going to take an offense, because they know what black means. And they also know that black is not a people. So they'll say, I'm not black. I'll tell you in a minute. Even though their skin is blacker than yours or blacker than mine, because to them, the word has nothing to do with the skin tone. It has nothing to do with the color of their hair. Black has to do with the bottom, the slave, death. Like I said, all of the negative words. So they're not going to allow you to do that. And so therefore, black is made up. It's a byword. And in this video, this one right here, I'm not going to keep it long or make it long. I just want to lay that principle down, that when you travel all over the world, you're not going to see people identifying as black unless they are sons and daughters of the slave trade. I know. Now your mind is turning. You're thinking about like, wow. So if you go to, say, England, for instance, you don't call them they don't refer to themselves simply as brown people. Those are the black English people, or the people that are black in English, or they'll say the or they'll just say black people. You go all over the world, and if you ask where the natives are, the natives of those countries may be, like I said, skin tone darker than yours. But if you ask the people, where are the black people, then they automatically know, oh, you're talking about the slaves, or you're talking about the children of the slaves. So that this idea of slavery is connected to black. And that's why during Black History Month or whatever, the focus is always on the slave, slavery, the slavery, because that's really when this byword, this curse word was actually applied to us. And I'll show you how, well, you probably already know how deep this is in our psyche in the next video. But if these videos are informative and are helping open your eyes, Toda Rabbah, and we give Abba Yah the praise and the glory and the honor for it. If you would like to see these videos continue to come forward like they are, would you consider sending a gift of support to help support the Ark so that we can continue to bring this information to the world, to the 12 tribes of Israel? It's going to help us in these last days be true to who we are, but ultimately true to our King, Yehoshua HaMashiach. One love, Zion. And we're going to be posting another video in this series. All right. Shalom.